Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday yoga. So come on into a nice comfortable place. We'll get started with our breath. So find your sit bones grounding. If, as always, if sitting upright isn't feeling exactly where you want to be this morning, then come onto your back or your belly or child's pose, any other pose that lets your body settle and soften. But if you are staying upright, then make sure that you're nice and tall through the spine, soft through the shoulders. Hands can rest anywhere on your lap or palm in palm. And let's just start, take a big roll of the shoulders in one direction. Do that a couple times, just kind of loosen up the muscles on the shoulders, the back of the neck, the upper back, and then reverse the direction. Just take I was going backwards, so now I'm just moving my shoulders forward. Just take it each direction. And then inhale, take both arms high. And exhale, just take an easy twist open to the right. We're just gonna start to move our body a little bit with the breath. Inhale back to center and exhale open to the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. One more time, inhale center, exhale left, inhale center. This time interlace the fingers at the tops and the palms to the sky. Take another breath in and lengthen really tall up. And then as you exhale, just slowly round, bringing the hands toward the earth. Letting the back body, the spine just round, and the hands slowly come on down. And then reach the bottom there, just release and walk your hands back into your lap. Come back up to your nice tall spine. And then just come into your breath. Start to settle into the easy pace, the in and out through the nose. Just starting to watch it, starting to settle. Notice what's going on in the head this morning. And see if you can replace some of those thoughts with the breath. Just pressing pause, letting the inhale fill up that space a little more fully. Take a few more rounds of breath here. And then with your next inhale, lengthen the whole length of the inhale. So if you were just taking easy breaths in and out, not really trying to control it too much, now we're going to try and control the breath a little bit. So as you inhale, try to sort of sip it up on a nice 5 or 6 count. When you get to the top, hold. And slowly release down with your exhale, that same count. You get to the bottom, hold. And then refill the lungs again, that same length all the way up. At the top, hold. And then releasing it down. At the bottom, hold. And one more round of that, inhaling nice and slowly. At the top, holding. And then releasing it down. At the bottom, hold. And then releasing the breath, coming back into your natural in and out through the nose. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and sweep the arms high again. Bring the palms together and bring them through to your heart center. We'll pause here to set our intention or focus or dedication. Just trying to see the words, the thoughts clearly. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and release the arms. You bring them back into your lap. And just take the right ear over to your right shoulder, lengthening through the left side of the neck. You can keep both hands in your lap. You can extend that left arm toward the earth for a little bit more, or you can take the right hand and just gently drape it over the left side of the head. As long as that's not too much, as long as that feels okay, and the muscles there aren't straining. Breathing into this, take another full breath here, and then we'll slowly start to take the chin toward the chest. Moving really slowly, stopping anywhere here for another extra breath or two or three. Anywhere that you might feel some tightness through the back of the neck. Massage out the muscles a little bit even. Or just sort of walk your hand along the back of your head until you reach the center. And when you get there, just pausing. Take another breath. And then with the fingers on your right hand on your forehead center, just gently push your head all the way back up to center. And we'll take the other side, let the left ear come toward the left shoulder. And just moving slowly with intention. The right fingertips can go out to the side and or that left hand on the right side of the head as a little added weight. And whenever you're ready, start to take the chin toward center. Begin slowly. Stopping and breathing anywhere for a little longer period. And when you get to center, pausing there. And then with the fingers on the left hand on the forehead center, gently guiding your head all the way back up. Awesome. And then just take an easy, just kind of glance to each side, making sure the neck feels nice and loose. You can do that a couple of times, or you can kind of take it up toward the ceiling and over, making a nice big arc. And then maybe down toward the mat. And then coming back to center. And then let's come on up to our knees. We'll start to wake up the spine, the shoulders a little bit. So bringing the hands on the back body, we'll come into a little bit of a heart opener first. So fingers facing toward the sky. The hands just sort of on the lower back here. Take an inhale, lift the shoulders, and then bring them together on your back. And then as you exhale, start to drop them down as you lift from the heart center, thinking about everything moving straight up. So nothing moving back, just moving up, lifting from the heart center, and then squeezing the shoulder blades toward one another to get that open feeling through the front of the body. The gaze can be straight ahead, or you can let the gaze sort of walk up toward the ceiling, or even back, if that's okay, on your neck and your throat. Making sure that you're still breathing fully here. If you find yourself holding your breath at all, just come up out of the pose a tiny bit. And take another breath in, and then release, come back all the way up to center. Just guide your hips back towards your heels, coming into a child's pose. Walk the fingertips forward into an extended version for this first one. So tented fingertips, and then moving your forehead toward the earth. Keeping a nice length through the backs of the arms and the back body. Breathing into the lower back. Take another 2 breaths there. And then go ahead and come into your downward dog. So just readjust your hands and your feet, lift the hips, and just walk this out a little bit, just starting to wake up the body. Notice how the body feels, the backs of the legs, all the way down through the Achilles tendon. And taking your time here, making each side either the length of one full breath or just a half breath, and inhale on one side and exhale takes you to the other. Whatever kind of speed feels good to you this morning. You can roll out the ankle when you're on one side, just kind of making a circle over the toes, just sort of loosening up that joint through the top of the foot and the ankle. And then walk your dog back just a tiny bit. If you were in a little bit shorter, walk your feet back an inch or so. Take a full breath in and out. And then go ahead and take the right leg high. Just lengthen it up. And then exhale, release it back down. Inhale, take the left leg high. And exhale it down. Come back to the right side. Inhale, take that leg high. Just moving on your breath in a way that feels good. Take it as high or keep it as low as feels good. Inhale the left, so you can take it high and open that hip a little bit if you want, or you can keep it low and just lengthen through the heel. We'll take each side one more time. Inhale the right. Release it down. Inhale the left. And exhale, release it down. And then go ahead and drop back down to your knees. Bring the hands this time back by your heels for your child's pose. Bring the forehead to the earth and just take a few deep breaths. Noticing how the whole back body is feeling. If there's tightness in the lower back area or anywhere else. And then go ahead and inhale. Come on back up to your table this time. And let's create a little bit more length through the spine. So stepping the left toes back, the right fingertips forward, palm facing toward the left side of the room. And just pausing here first to really find that core engagement. Find the squaring of the hips. So find that pinky toe side of the left foot all the way on the earth so that the hips are nice and flat and nice and square. Lengthen the fingertips forward, and then when you're ready, you can lift that back foot an inch or two, flexing the heel, the toes down toward the earth, lengthening in each direction. The gaze is just straight down, right to the right side of that left hand, just lengthening in each direction. Take another breath and lengthen as you inhale. This time as you exhale, round the elbow toward the knee, in toward center, rounding the spine and engaging the core. And then inhale, lengthen everything. Exhale, round into center. One more time, inhale and lengthen. When you lengthen, make sure that you're not lifting. You want to keep everything nice and straight. Exhale, round and engage. And then inhale and lengthen one more time to stay. Take another full breath in, and then go ahead and release down. You can pause right here. You can come back down to your child's pose, or you can move through a cat-cow. We haven't done the cat-cow yet, so go ahead and take that in each direction. Moving with your breath. And then coming back to center, back to neutral. Coming back to that core, into the breath, and then we'll step the right toes back. Left fingertips forward, palm facing towards the right side of the room, grounding into that right palm. Squaring the hips, engaging the core, lengthening the fingertips forward, and when you're ready, lifting that back heel just an inch or two. Keep dialing down the pinky toe side of that right foot. Lengthen, feel your body just moving in opposite directions, the spine nice and long. Take another breath in here. And as you exhale, we're going to round the elbow toward the knee, in toward center. Rounding through the spine, engaging through the core. And then inhale, lengthen everything back. Exhale towards center. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale to center. And then inhale, come back to your length. Another full breath. And then release everything back down. Take an inhale into your cow, grounding through the palms, lifting the tail, lengthening the gaze, and then reversing into your cat, dropping the crown of the head, rounding through the spine, and then coming back. One more time in each direction. And then send your hips back to your heels, come back into your child's pose. Just a nice deep full breath here. And then inhale, come on back up through your table into your downward facing dog. Just take a breath here, letting your body settle into the pose. And then take an inhale, lift the right leg high. This time exhale and step it forward. Drop the back knee. And inhale, come on up into come up high into your low lunge. So make sure that knee is stacked over the ankle. Send the arms straight up to the sky. Take an inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, bring the hands together through heart center and take a twist to the right. So before we drop the elbow, just find the twist, leading with that right shoulder and the sternum, and the rib cage. Take another breath here and then come back to center. Send the arms high, lift the heart, inhale. And then exhale, release the hands down and step that back toe back. Turn the other edge of that heel down. This way. And then with that right hand, either inside or maybe you have a block nearby, send the left fingertips high and just open up. Take a few breaths here. You can also come on up to the elbow here if you don't have a block and this is too deep for you. So either way. Take another breath in and then exhale, release. Come back down to that back knee and come back up to our first part of the pose, inhaling high. Sorry, I'm going to turn again. And then exhale the hands through heart center. Take your twist again. This time drop left elbow over the right knee and come into your prayer twist. Press the palms together and take a few deep breaths here, really filling the belly as much as you can. We take one more full breath and then release and come back to center. Send the arms high again, lift the heart, inhale. And then this time as you exhale, bring the hands down to either side of that front foot and send your hips back, lengthening that front leg, flexing the toes to the sky, flexing the heel, and just starting to breathe into the back of that right leg. So hands can be on either side of the leg or the foot anywhere. And just starting to breathe and soften there. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. I'm just trying to let those muscles ease in. Holding poses like this for a few breaths. Just notice if the thoughts circle back to wherever they were when we started and see if you can come back to the breath. Keep pushing the thoughts aside. For each breath that you can do that, you're making good progress. So coming back into the breath, filling up the front of the head with the inhale, and softening the body on the exhale. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And that second exhale, come forward back into our low lunge. This time with hands on either side of that foot or blocks, or you can come back up high. But this time we're gonna get a little bit deeper into, excuse me, into the lunge. So whatever version of this is comfortable for you, hands here, or fingertips, or fists, or blocks. Grounding into that right heel so that that right hip is guiding back and you're not dropping in or over dropping in. And using your muscles to keep your body safe and strong in the pose, while at the same time softening and lengthening. Take 2 more breaths here. Into that second exhale, we're going to send the hips back again and just add a little bit of movement here, linking the body and the breath. So come back to your length, to your hamstring, and then inhale, come forward to your lunge, sending the gaze forward a little bit. Exhale, send the hips back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. A few more times in each direction, letting your breath guide. Back. Next time you come forward, pause there. Take a deep, full breath. And then we'll bring both hands inside that right foot, coming into our lizard. So you might need to heel toe your foot a little closer to the right edge of the mat. Bringing both fingers, both hands inside that foot. Keep that knee nice and vertical, so try not to let it drop open quite yet. Keep the shoulder and the knee connected. And you can be nice and flat on your palms. I don't think you can see my hands. You could be on a block here if you have, for a little bit more lift in the pose. Or some of you I know might be down on your forearms, and that's great too. So just finding the place, as always, your body can settle into. Just breathe and lengthen and soften and all of those good things. So just taking a few more breaths here. Another deep full breath. And then we'll go ahead and let that knee start to drop open. You can turn your toes open an inch or so, 1 or 2 o'clock. Roll onto the outer edge of that foot and let that knee drop open. And just find a little bit of, you can either find a tiny bit of movement back and forth or just breathing in stillness here. Just finding that outer hip. Continuing to soften through the left side as well. You can stay right here. Breathing in this pose, or if you want, add the twist. So bringing that right hand on top of that right knee or thigh. Start to twist the sternum toward the right. Grounding into that left palm. Bring the right shoulder onto your back and bring your gaze over to the right. Lifting from the heart center. Another full breath. And then gently come back. And then everybody come back through center. Tuck the back toes and lift that back knee and walk your hands all the way over to the left. Not all the way, but over to the left till you come to center, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So toes in, heels out. Or if you're facing like I am on your mat, the sides of your feet are parallel to the sides of your mat. And then with your fingertips right underneath your gaze, lift about halfway and lengthen. So sending the tailbone back, the crown of the head forward. And then as you exhale, drop into your forward fold, letting the crown of the head get heavy. You can keep your hands where they are underneath your gaze, or you can walk them to the sides of your feet or the big toes. Whichever area is a comfortable place. Breathing and softening. Take another deep full breath. And then bring the hands back underneath your gaze, come back, lift and lengthen. And then pivoting back toward the front of your mat, turning the right toes forward, bringing the hands on either side of that right foot, drop the back knee, come on back up to center, inhaling, and then exhale, bring the hands together at the heart center. We're gonna take our twist again. I'll turn around so I can face you. Taking our prayer twist, so dropping that elbow, and then either staying right here or maybe opening the arms this time. If you have a block, you can bring that underneath that left hand. It can be a nice support. And or tuck the back toes, lift that back knee and come into your lunge variation. So either place. You can be right here still, or you could be here and open. You could also take a half bind, bringing the right hand on that back body. Take 2 more full breaths here. And with that second exhale, release and come all the way back up to center. Inhale and lengthen. And then as you exhale, release the hands. Bring that right knee back to meet the left. And just take a breath or 2 through your cat-cow. Inhaling, exhaling. Again, in each direction, inhaling and exhaling. And then send the hips back to the heels. Bring the hands back by the heels as well. Come into your child's pose. Take another deep, full breath. And then inhale, come on back up. Come back into your downward facing dog. And just take a resetting breath here, lifting the hips, letting the heels get heavy. And then back into sort of the breath work where we started. Take an inhale, lift the right leg, just let it float up. Exhale, release it down. Inhale the left. Exhale it down. Inhale, come back to the right. And again, you can lift, you can open it, or you can just keep it square, release it back down. Inhale the left. And one more time on each side. Inhale the right. Inhale the left. Take another full breath. And then come back to the left. Inhale that high. And exhale, step it forward. Drop the back knee. Inhale high. Lifting from the heart, softening down through the shoulders. Take another breath in. And then bring the hands together at the heart center and twist to the left. So just like we do on the other side, we're just going to take the twist first, not drop the elbow, but just really feeling the spine lengthen and twisting. Take another breath in and then release, come back to center, send the heart high. Inhale, and then exhale, release the hands to the earth, step that back toe, tuck the back toes and lift the back knee and turn that back foot down. And then with that left hand, either on a block or inside that right foot, or maybe coming up to the elbow, send the right fingertips high and open up into your side angle here. Grounding into that left heel and just twisting open. And take another breath in and then exhale, release. Both hands to either side, come back down to that back knee, and then inhale both arms high again, lengthen up through the heart. Exhale, hands together at the heart center, and this time twist to the left and drop the elbow, right elbow over left knee. Filling the belly, filling the lungs, pressing the palms into one another. And take one more full breath. And then release and come back all the way up to center. Inhale. And then exhale, release the hands. And then send the hips back as you start to flex that front foot, toes to the sky. Fingers can be tented fingertips, or maybe the hands are flat on either side of the leg. Just starting to breathe into that hamstring. Take another full breath in and out. And then inhale, come forward back into your low lunge. This time with hands on either side of that foot, either tented fingertips or fists or blocks. Or you can be up high, the hands on the knee there. I'm gonna grab my blocks here. Make sure that knee stays stacked over the ankle. I'm just starting to breathe into that right hip flexor, lengthening, grounding into the left heel. So there's that muscle energy there. And trying to keep your gaze right off the front edge of the mat, so you're a little bit lifted from the heart and not rounded down here, not with your gaze right down at the mat. Take another full breath. Then we'll bring some movement to this. Go ahead and take your hips back, slowly flexing that front foot. And then inhale, come back forward to your lunge. Bring the gaze forward. Exhale, send the hips back. Inhale forward. Exhale, send the hips back. And a few more times in each direction. Next time you come forward, pause there. And then we'll bring that left hand, both hands inside that left foot, so heel toe that foot a little bit closer to the outer edge of your mat, coming into your lizard, and then keeping that knee nice and vertical and the shoulder connected to it, either on your palms or maybe fingertips or block, or for some of you coming down a little deeper onto the forearms. Continuing to ground into that left heel though, so that you're not dropping too deep into this right hip. You don't want to over drop in there, so you want to make sure you're still keeping some engagement. And then you can stay right here with the breath or add the twist. So bringing that left hand to the left knee, starting to twist the heart, open to the left, grounding into that right palm. And take another breath in. Oh, actually, sorry, we forgot to turn open on the side of the foot. So coming back to center, back into your lizard, turn your toes open and inch and roll onto the outer edge of the foot. That's going to make it a little easier to turn open. So now you can stay here, come back into this for a breath or two. You might feel a nice lengthening through the inner thigh, and then also in that left outer hip. So taking another breath or two, and then either staying there or now adding the twist here. This will allow you to get a little bit deeper and feel a little bit more through that left side. And take another breath. And then release and come back to center. And then tuck the back toes, lift that back knee and walk your hands over to the right, coming back into your wide-legged fold. So toes in, heels out again. This time bring your hands to your hips or to your waist. And with a long spine, inhale, come all the way high. And this time we'll take an arm some type of shoulder opener. So you can bring your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, or you can grab opposite elbows. You can come into reverse namaste, or if you have a strap, grab the strap in either hand. Elongate the length of the arms. So whatever is going to allow you to get open through the chest, through the heart. Take an inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades toward one another, and then leading with the heart as you exhale, come back down into your fold. And then trying to let the arms drop overhead in whatever variation you have. Unless you're in reverse namaste, then they're staying on your back. Or if you have opposite elbows, they're staying on your back too. If you have a strap or your fingers are interlaced, let them drift toward the earth. And take another full breath. And go ahead and release. Bring the hands underneath the gaze and then pivot back toward the front of your mat, turning the left toes forward and then dropping back into that back knee. Inhale, both arms high. Lengthen. And then we'll come into our twist. Again, exhale, hands to heart center. Twisting to the left, right elbow over left knee. And then maybe finding variation this time, maybe opening up the arms, or maybe tucking the back toes, coming into your lunge, or coming into a half bind. Whatever one of those allows you the deepest twist without sacrificing the breath. Make sure the breath is still deep and full. And take another inhale, and then exhale, release, come back up to center. Inhale, both arms high, lengthen it up. And then exhale, release the hands. Step the left toes back to the right into your downward facing dog. And just take a nice deep full breath. In and out. One more time. And then inhale, walk your hands and feet together, somewhere in the middle of your mat. And then heel toe your feet a little bit wider than hip distance. So like a short, so maybe like you fit, maybe about 18 inches or so. And then walk your hands over to the right with the left hand grounded. Send the right fingertips to the sky. The left hand can be on your foot or ankle, on your calf or knee. If you have a block, you can also use that as a support. And just twisting open, sending the right fingertips long. Breathing. Take another breath in, and then exhale, release, and walk your hands over to the left, and then grounding the right hand, send the left fingertips high. Twisting open, lengthening and breathing. And take one more inhale, and then exhale, release. And then just pivot yourself back. If you were turned on your mat, walk yourself back to your downward facing dog. Take an inhale and an exhale, and then hinge forward to a high plank. Now you can drop your knees for this, or you can stay lifted. First, open out here. We're just going to breathe here. So either with the knees lifted, make sure the hips are low enough that you're getting that core engagement. If they're too high, you're not going to feel it in the core as much. You can drop the knees here and keep the toes on or off the earth, but again, making sure that you drop the hips low enough in that you're getting that core. So all that time I was talking, you guys are still here in your plank breathing. We're going to take this all the way down to our belly. So I'm going to give you the option of dropping the knees or keeping them lifted. We're all going to pivot our elbow creases towards the front of the room so that as we start to bend them, they are bending toward the back of the room. Bring your gaze forward off the front edge of your mat and shaving the ribcage with the elbows. Slowly bring yourself all the way down to your belly, just like a plank. When you get all the way down, release. Let the arms come by your sides, and you can turn one cheek towards the earth. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then turn the opposite cheek. And then coming back to center, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders for your Sphinx pose. Forearms forward, fingertips spread wide, and grounding through the elbows, softening through the lower body. And then lifting the belly button, lifting the heart, softening down through the shoulders. And a few deep breaths here. And take another breath in. And then exhale, release. And let's open the arms wide. Keeping that right hand grounded, roll onto that right hip. Opening up through that right shoulder. And a gentle twist through the spine, keeping the feet stacked, or you can bend the left knee to add a little bit more. So just depending how your body feels. And take one more breath here. And then release back to your belly, switch sides, bring that left palm all the way out. Nice and flat, roll onto that left hip. And the left side of the head down, keeping the feet stacked, or if you want to add a little bit more openness, you can bend the right knee. And just breathing into that shoulder. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, release, coming all the way back to your belly. And just adjusting everything so that your tops of your thighs are nice and square, tops of the feet. Interlace the hands in the lower back. We're going to come into a locust variation here. So interlacing the fingertips, or if your shoulders are tight, maybe just grab your shirt or a strap. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift the toes. Start to lift the heart, send the knuckles towards the back of the room, squeeze the shoulder blades toward one another and lift everything up. Breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, one more inhale, and then exhale, release everything down, turn one cheek. Take a full breath in and out. And then come back to center. And we'll either take that same arm variation. You can open your arms up like airplane, or you could send them forward, pistol lock the fingers toward the front of the room. Whichever variation you would like, and come up for 5. And so I'll take one more inhale. And then exhale, release, turn your opposite cheek. Take another deep full breath in and out. Give your hips a little sway side to side, or maybe bend the knees, and you can gently windshield wiper the feet side to side. Just making sure that the movement is gentle. And then with your hands by your heart, just gently guide yourself back through your table, pausing in the table, coming back through a cat-cow. Take an inhale and an exhale in each direction. And then sending the hips back to your heels for your child's pose. Hands back by your heels as well. Forehead to the earth. And then coming back up into a seated pose. You can shift your hips to one side and just swing your legs out. We're going to come into a wide-legged straddle. So the legs don't have to be as wide as they possibly can go, but wide enough that you feel sensation through the inner thigh. Flex the heels. So toes are facing up toward the sky and your knees are facing up toward the sky as well. So if sitting right here is already feeling agonizing, then bring your legs a little bit closer together. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay. We're going to bring some movement to it. But if you feel like you can bring your legs wider and you want to, then go for it. Bring your hands in front of you, sit up nice and tall, and again, keeping the feet flexed. They don't have to be so flexed that your heels come off the earth, but you want them flexed enough that there's engagement through the top of that leg. And then start to bring your hands forward. You don't have to move your whole torso at all, but you can, maybe just an inch, and a very small movement will translate to the sensation in your inner thighs, depending on your body, maybe all the way down your legs or through some of the calf as well. So you can take this to your degree. Some of you might be up nice and tall like this and feeling this all through the lower body, and that's great. Some of you might need to take it further to get into the pose a little deeper. So keep walking your hands till your body tells you that that's gone far enough. Some of you might come down to forearms. If you have any support, any props in your body, you can use those to let your forehead rest on so that the back of the neck and the shoulders can soften. So just kind of find the place. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. So find the place that's comfortable for your body and that you can breathe in with some type of ease. And let's take 3 more breaths here. And then wherever your hands are, just walk them back closer towards your body, sitting up nice and tall, and then just kind of assist your legs a little bit, bringing them closer, and then bring the soles of the feet together, coming into a Baddha Konasana, bound angle. So you can interlace your hands and just kind of put them underneath or around the top of your toes. Scooch your pelvis and your heels close to one another. Sit up as tall as you can through the spine, as heavy through the shoulders, lifting through the crown of the head, and then just let gravity take your knees wherever they're going to go. It doesn't matter if they're up high or open wide. Try not to force them open, but just try to let your body settle into this with its own ease without forcing. And take a few deep breaths. You can let the eyelids get heavy here, or just let them kind of unfocus on some point in front of you. Take another full breath. And gently release from that, and keeping the right leg bent, extend the left leg back out. And bring the left hand just gently resting their right fingertips to the sky. Inhale and lengthen up, so feel that right side of the body lengthening. And then as you exhale, just come into your side bend. This elbow or this left arm can rest on the leg or inside, or if you have any kind of prop, you can use that as well for a little bit more height. So finding whatever you need here to let your body come into this. Trying to keep your heart facing forward, so we don't want to be turned down towards that leg, but opening. And we're just going to stay here for a few breaths, letting that right side of the body lengthen. Try to keep that right hip grounded too. So if you feel this side of the right side of your body kind of lifting up off the earth a little bit, just come up out of the pose. You don't need to force anything here. Try to keep this left toes with a little bit of gentle flex in them, so that right knee stays pointed up toward the sky. And just letting your body soften here. Lengthening the fingertips either up or toward the left. Take 2 more breaths. And gently release. And bring that right hand behind you. We're going to ground into that left heel. We're going to come up into a modified wild thing. So sweep this left hand around as you bring your weight onto that right knee and lift the hips and open up through the heart. And take another breath in. And then just gently come back down. Bring that left foot forward. Keep the right leg bent, coming into Janu Shavasana. So the left leg is just off from center, maybe like 11 o'clock. Inhale, both arms high, and then as you turn your torso, exhale, come over that left leg into your fold. And breathing here into the back, the lower back, the hamstring. Take one more full breath. And then release. Come on up to center. Extend that right leg long to meet the left. Maybe just give it a little shake. Flex both feet. Inhale, both arms high. Lengthen. And then exhale, come forward into your double-legged fold, Paschimottanasana. You can bend your knees as much as you need here. Let your chest rest right on your thighs. Or if they're extended, keeping the heels flexed. And keeping the gaze down towards your legs so the back of the neck is long, so you want to be extending your neck forward like I just did. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then with an inhale, slowly coming all the way back up. And then this time we'll extend the right leg out, bend the left. Sitting up nice and tall, right hand can rest on that right leg. Send the left fingertips to the sky. Inhale and lengthen it up. And then exhale, we'll take our side bend to the right. And just letting your body ease in here. So don't try to take it over too fast, too deep, too fast. Try to keep the heart facing toward the front. And just easing in. Keep the fingertips reaching so there's length. You might feel it all the way from the top of that left hip, all the way through the side body, the rib cage. And just breathing, making sure the breath doesn't get held in either direction. And take 2 more deep breaths here. And then exhale, release, and bring that left hand behind. Make sure that your left knee is on a mat or something soft, and we're going to sweep that right hand around, lifting the hips and opening the heart, coming into a wild thing variation. One more inhale, and then exhale, release, come on back down. And then we're going to take that right leg towards center, but just a little bit off from center for Janu Shavasana. So it might be about 1 o'clock. And the left leg stays where it is. The sole of that foot on the inner right thigh. Inhale, both arms high. Lengthen, and then just turning the torso a tiny bit. So as you exhale, come into your fold over that right leg. Again, sending your breath to the back body. Flexing the heel. So there's length through that hamstring. Take another full breath. And then inhale, come on back up. Extend that left leg long. Give them both a little shake. And then if you were turned differently, turn back onto your mat so that you can come all the way down. Now let's come into a boat pose first. So we'll come down with a little bit of core engagement. So coming onto your sit bones, knees start at eye level, extend the arms. Take an inhale, lift the heart just a little bit. And then as you exhale, we're just going to slowly come down on 10, 9, 8, and you can slowly bring your arms further away, and you can slowly start to lengthen your knees. What were we on? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, when you feel your body quivering, that's good, the muscles are working. 2, 1, and come all the way down. Release everything down. Take an inhale, and open mouth, exhale. And then hug the knees into your chest. Give them a nice little squeeze. Let the lower back soften onto the earth. And just kind of settle there. Take another breath in here, and then open the knees wide into a happy baby. Grab the outer edges of the feet or the big toes with the peace fingers. Keep the tailbone grounded and the shoulders heavy. Let the knees just drop toward the earth to your degree. Really feeling the whole back body nice and soft on the mat. Let the eyelids close and the muscles on the face soften. Take another breath in. And then gently release, come back to center and drop the knees over to the right for a spinal twist. Bring the gaze and that left arm out to the left. Take a deep breath in. Send it out through the mouth. And let the body soften in here. Take one more full breath. And then come back through center. We'll take it to the other side. Drop the knees to the left, and the gaze to the right arm out like a wing. And again, take an inhale through the nose. Send it out through the mouth. Letting everything soften. And take one more full breath. And then coming back to center, give the knees one last hug. In nice and tight, maybe lifting the shoulders as well. And then preparing to come into your Shavasana, extending everything long. Heels toward the corners of your mat. The arms resting by your sides. Palms can be facing up or down. Letting the shoulders get heavy. Your hips and your heels. Letting the muscles on your face soften and your eyelids get heavy. If you have something to cover your eyelids with, that's great. Blocking out. It just helps to block out anything else around. I don't have anything near me, so I'm just going to close mine. And then take an inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And really let that exhale signal to your body to soften and let go. Let the muscles relax. And let your body just really settle in here, dissolving onto your mat. Let the jaw relax. Just coming back into your natural, easy pace of breath. And starting to bring some awareness back to your breath, to your physical body. And with your next inhale, lengthening your arms overhead. Stretch everything out long. With the exhale, hug everything in tight. Squeeze the knees back into the chest, making a nice little ball. And then drop the knees to one side and just pause there for another deep, full breath. And then making your way back up to a comfortable upright. And bring the hands together at the heart center and just take the next breath or two to bring back to the front of your mind your intention, your dedication, your focus. And let's honor those thoughts by bringing our hands to our crown, to our throats, honoring our words, and our hearts, honoring our soul, and the light that shines in each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a wonderful class.
Great. Lovely. Needed it. Beautiful.
The rest of the week, I'll see you on Thursday. And